I was born in 1964. I just turned 60 years old. So we're going to step back in time. We're going to go back to the 60s and do a retro glam look. This is my monthly collab with Andy from Andy Does Stuff. I will have Andy's channel linked down below along with her video so that you can go find out what Andy's retro glam look looks like. In preparation for this video, I did some research and I found an original makeup tutorial on here on YouTube. I'll have it linked down below. And it was a tutorial for high school girls to teach them how to put their makeup on. By the time I was done with my research, I was kind of peeved because some of the things they said to those young women was not very nice in my opinion. The expectations of how that all should have been back in those days was a little off. So we're going to do some of the things that they did in that tutorial. I'm going to do an eye look. They did not do an eye look in that. I'm kind of going with a Twiggy theme and how she did her eyeliner, kind of like a 1960s cat eye. And we'll see how that's going to turn out. So in this tutorial, they said that the first step was to powder your face and to use a powder that was the same tone as your face. They were told to take a cotton round, which is very fuzzy, and to sprinkle the powder on the cotton round and then to distribute the powder evenly, and then you were to pat it on your face, lifting the pad up off of your face as you go. So I'm just going to dip into the powder like that and pat it around on my face. I'm not going under my eyes because a lot of powder under my eyes looks absolutely terrible. But look at that. And it's actually blurring my pores pretty well. I'm such a rebel. I'm already not following instructions. Those little girls did not look happy in that video. And they followed instructions to a T, I am here to tell you. Okay, well, good thing to know is if I'm ever in a pinch, I can just throw some translucent powder on my face and go on, right? Then they were told to turn the pad over on the clean side and just blot off any excess powder. They did not do a lot with their complexion back in those days. The complexion was to be kind of on the pale side with just a hint of a little bronzer and blush, which we're going to do. The focus was supposed to be on the eyes. Now in this video for these high school girls, they did not do an eye look. From the powder, they moved right into a lip. They told them to take some lip liner. I am using the Lip Cheat, the Charlotte Tilbury. This is Pillow Talk 2 Medium. They did tell them to outline their lips, so I'm going to lightly outline my lips because it's not supposed to be a bold lip. It's supposed to be very subtle and nude. The thing that miffed me about that was one of the girls, they said her lips were too big for her face. So she did not line her lips all the way out to the edge to make her lips look smaller. What? No. They did talk a little bit about blemish control. How if you had blemishes, it was because you were not taking care of your skin. There wasn't enough grooming and personal hygiene, you know, washing your face and stuff like that. And they had like a concealer, but it was in lipstick form, and then they just took a brush and got some of it off and put it over their blemishes and then put the powder over top of it. Next I'm going to use this little sample. All of these are little samples of this Melt Cosmetics. This is called Underground, I believe. And this is just a little bit too dark than what they said to use. but it's what I had. I don't have a lot of really light nude lipsticks because they wash me out and don't look good on me. They said that you had to master the lip brush. They put their lipstick on with a brush so that you could expertly blend it in. In that tutorial, the next step was to do your brows. They used a brow pencil. I am going to use a brow gel. I am not an expert with a brow pencil. I love my gel. So I'm just going to brush this through. They were told to put the pencil through their brows, very natural, and then to come straight out. It looked really odd. And also, they had a brush which looked like a toothbrush. It was as big as a toothbrush. And after they were done with their pencil, they were to take the brush and run it through their brows to make everything look blended and natural. So if you're ever in a pinch and you don't have a brush for your brows, just go in the bathroom and grab your toothbrush. You're welcome. From there, they moved on to eyes. They did not talk to the high school students about blush and bronzer. I'm going to do blush and bronzer before I move on to eyes. They moved on to eyelashes because they didn't do a look. So I'm going to use this little mini Natasha Denona Bronze and Glow. It has a very light bronzer in it. This is a highlighter. They did not use highlighters because your complexion was supposed to be very matte. So I'm going to take a little bit of the bronzer, and they just placed it kind of under the cheekbone, more like a contour than a bronzer, just very lightly. So see, just a very, very light application is all they did. They also said that they used either a pink or a peach blush. So I am going to use this little mini hourglass blush, and it is very pink. A light pink, because they did not put on a lot of blush. And of course, they did the apples of the cheeks, which I do not do, but here we are. And they did it in a way that just put a little bit of a flush on the face, because again, the eye look was the star of the show. They did not do any primer on the eyes, which is going to kill me not to do any primer on my eyes. I think I am going to take a little bit of powder. I'm going to use my CoverGirl, and I'll use the makeup round because my eyes can be very oily. So I just want to make sure that the application goes on smooth. I wanted to use my Xenon palette from Natasha Denona because this is kind of a smoky look, but I think some of the shimmers in here are too glittery because their makeup did not have a lot of glittery impact to it. Although I do think I might take this flurry and use it in the crease area. The palette I'm mostly going to use is my little everyday palette that has my singles in it. That just makes my eye look too closed off, doesn't it? If it doesn't look right, we'll take it off. So, sometimes things just don't work out and you have to completely start over. But that's okay, because it's makeup. You just wipe it off and start all over again, which is what I've done. I have put on a different eyeshadow base. I'm using the MAC Painterly Paint Pot. I have tight lined my eyes. I'm going to attempt this again using a different method. I'm not going to do the crazy eyeliner because that's when it got all wonky, because my eyes are just too crepey for that. So I don't know if I will do this on camera and just speed it up to get through it, or if I'll just come back and have my eyeshadow on so that we can move forward, because this video can't be 18 hours long. So I'm going back into that first brown. I'm not going to go into that shade that I used out of the Natasha Denona palette. Just going to use this brown and quickly put that in my transition area. So that was that first brown right there. Now I'm going to go into this dark brown and put that in my crease. We're going to do an updated version of this graphic liner for crepey eyes. This is a crepey eyed version. See, we don't get frustrated. We just get a baby wipe, some makeup remover, take it off, and try again. And so I'll tell you while I'm putting this on that typically I would be quite frustrated with myself about things going wrong and not going the way they should, and I should have started earlier, and I should have done this, and I should have done that, and I just should all over myself until I'm just feeling terribly bad. When I started recording this video, I got quite a bit into the recording of the video when I realized that my video had no sound. And I know this is not what this video is supposed to be about. But you know, sometimes in life there come messages, and those messages have to be realized, and sometimes they need to be shared. So I had no sound. So, you know, I could have gotten all upset. Like, oh my gosh, I'm trying to figure out why I don't have any sound. And Sneaks, my kitty cat, old Nikki Poo, chewed my mic cord in half, which is why I had no sound. So then I had to go find my other mic. I had to dig it out of the box. I had to, you know, take the other one down and put the new one up, and I had to test it, and I had to figure out where it needed to be so that it sounded the best, and I had to take makeup off so I could start all over. I had to start the whole video all over again. And you know, sometimes things just happen. Sometimes I believe things like that happen to teach you how to be patient, not just with the world or things that happen, but to be patient with yourself, you know? Sometimes things happen, just like this. So I already took my makeup off once and started doing it all over again, and then, you know, when I got to the point of doing the eyes and that didn't turn out right, I had to take that all off and start over again. And that's okay. It's okay. At the end of the day, it's okay. Just have a little patience with yourself and with things that happen. You know? That saying about asking the situation that's happening, what are you here to teach me? Well, apparently through 1960s retro glam makeup tutorial. I'm supposed to be teaching about patience and just, you know, wipe it off and start over. 3 times was a charm, and I can already tell that I'm going to like this so much better, and it's going to kind of give me the exact same effect that I was going for the first time. It's just going to look better. You know, I wasn't around in the 60s at 20 years old. I was around up until I was 6 years old. So these 60-year-old mature eyes were not meant for 60s makeup. I have to adapt and adjust, which is another lesson. Now I know that the crease of my eye, which when I'm looking directly at you is hard to see, but I know the crease of my eye is already dark, but I'm still going to take a small brush. I'm going to use this little small Angie Hot and Flashy, and I'm going to go into that black because I'm determined. It's like Andy says, you ain't the boss of me. And I'm going to put that right in that crease just to make it even darker, which is still going to kind of give me that graphic liner look that I'm going for. And with this black, I can kind of pull that up to make it look like I kind of have the hint of a wing. So much easier. Alright, this time I'm going to try a smaller brush in this Natasha Denona palette in this white. I picked way too much of it up on my brush, and that's why it's falling all over my face, if you can see that. Alright, now I'm going to take the NYX again. That's what I used to tight line with. And I'm just going to run this along my lash line on my eyelid. I'm not going to try to do a wing because that just does not ever work out for me. Sometimes I say ever, but every once in a blue moon I can get it to kind of sort of work, but it definitely does not like to work. So we're just gonna do this because it does not have to be perfect. This has a little smudger brush on it, which is nice. And I'm just going to smudge that into that white just a little bit. Now in Ziggy's, this whole time I've been calling her Ziggy, it's Twiggy. She is now Ziggy. In Ziggy's look, she did not have shimmers, but I am going to put a shimmer over top of this white to make it pop a little bit more, just a little bit. Okay, back to the high school girl tutorial. On the eyes, they were told to curl their lashes. Now, their eyelash curler was not curved like this. It was almost completely straight across. I don't typically curl my eyelashes because my eyes are so crinkly, it catches the skin and pinches. which is very uncomfortable. And also, I can never tell the difference. Sometimes though, I will curl them after I put mascara on, which seems to work so much better. And then of course, they told them to make sure they got every lash, and this mascara looks like it's all dried out, and it is. I'm going to do something with my hair, and I'll be back to show you the final look. And so this is the final look. Supposed to be 1960s retro glam. I'm pretty sure that I am Ziggy the Twigster 1960s pirate. Yep. And so here's another lesson. You know, in the creator space on YouTube, it's not always a success. And that's okay. This did not turn out to be a success, but I sure did have fun doing it. And I sure hope that you had fun watching it. Now don't forget to go check out Andy, because I'm sure she did a phenomenal job. She's gonna make up for what I got going on. So go check out Andy's channel, watch her video. Let me know in the comments if you know who Twiggy is that I have renamed Ziggy. Okay, I'm just being weird silly now. I'll see y'all in my next video. Okay, love you, bye.